teaching you how to make the dancer charm or the ballerina charm. It looks like this. The supplies you will need to make this bracelet will be a loom or a board, a hook. I'm using a crochet hook. You can use a rainbow loom hook. If you're wondering, this is size F. That's the size I use. And the colors you are going to need is any type of skin color. I'm going to be using Rainbow Loom Light Orange. Any color for hair, I'm going to be using dark brown. I'm going to use pink for the leotard, but you can use white or black. And you're going to need black for the eyes. So to start off, we're going to do the extra pieces before we start on the actual body. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your board over to the side with the red arrows. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your hair color and start from the center peg and bring it to the left. And these are double rubber bands. So 2 rubber bands and bring it to the right now. So you form a V. Then you're going to go up 1 on both sides also. Just like this. Then you're going to go to the center. So you're forming a hexagon. So it should look like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to push down all your rubber bands and you're going to go to the center peg. And again, you're going to take 2 rubber bands and go from the center to the top right, then center to the top left. Everything on this part of the bun that I'm making that looks like this is going to be double rubber bands other than the cap band. So then you're going to take the 2 rubber bands and go down. You are creating a starburst. And you go the same direction the whole time. You don't have to go clockwise. You can go counterclockwise. But I would pick one direction to go into. So now you're going to push down your center peg. And you're going to take a rubber band and wrap it around 3 times. You can do 4, but I'm going to be doing 3. So you should see, if you count it, you should see 3 loops that you just tapped. Now you're going to start to hook. So you're going to flip your board over. You're not going to start here. You're going to start with the starburst. You're going to pull back your cap band, take your top 2, and bring it over. So what you're going to do is you're going to go under the cap band, which is 3 loops, and you're going to take your first 2 after the cap band. So you're going to go under like this, and take your top 2. And you can hold down your cap band as you do this so that it doesn't come off the peg. Now you're going to take your next 2 under the cap band and bring it over. And you're going to keep doing this all the way around. So you're going to bring it up to the top left and to the bottom left. Just like this. And see how this just happened? I'm sure this is going to happen for some of you because it happened to me when I was making my bracelet. Just bring it over like I just did. It is an easy fix. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go under these rubber bands here. I'm going to bring it under like this. And you're going to take your top 2 and you're going to bring it to the left. Then you're going to come back over to here, take your top 2, and bring it to the right. Then you're going to come back over to the left. You're going to take your bottom rubber bands, bring them up a peg. Then you're going to come down here again and bring them up a peg, just like this. You're always taking the bottom 2 rubber bands when you're going around this hexagon. So now you're going to bring it over like that, and finally over like this. Now we're going to do a slip knot to seal this bun. So now what you're going to do is you're going to stick your hook in and bring it out through the side and place a brown rubber band or the same color as your hair. And then you're going to put both halves on your hook like this. Then you're going to take the back slip and bring it over the hook and take it off. And keep the same one on. Now, when I pull this off, I'm going to hold on to the slip knot and use my hook to help me take this off. Just like this. Now you have your bun. And as you can see, there is no hole here. So a way to get the hole not as noticeable is to pull these right around the circle in. Just like this. So now you have your bun, and it will look tighter after you put it on the doll. So you can just place your bun to the side because we're not going to be using it right now because we still have to do the extra parts of our doll. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take your skin color rubber bands and start on the side with the red arrows. I'm going to go on the left, but you can start at any point on the board as long as the arrows are pointing away from you. So you're going to take double rubber bands and bring them a peg forward. And then you're going to do it the same again. You're going to do one more just like that. So you have 3. Then you're going to take your skin color rubber band again, and you're going to wrap it around 4 times. Just like this. And then you're going to repeat the steps for the next hand. So now you're going to hook your arms. As you can see, I did the second arm for you and just place them down. So now you're going to flip your board over so the arrows are pointing towards you. And you're going to go under your cap band, and you're going to take the bottom 2 rubber bands and bring them a peg forward, just like this. It's like you're doing an extension for a bracelet. You're just going to go a peg forward. See what I was saying? How this may fall off? I'm just showing you how you can do this. You can stick your hook through, take the rubber band, and bring it back around. And your arm should turn out all right still. Now you're going to take it a peg forward again. And you're going to repeat these steps for the next arm. And after you finish your next arm, you're just going to take it off the board carefully. You have to be careful with the cap band because it's very tight. And carefully sit it down, or you can also just place it on your hook. So now that's your first arm, and I will be back after I finish the next arm. I'd like to mention you are welcome to make these arms longer than 3, but that's just the length I like for people that I make. So now you're going to start with the legs. So you're going to take a skin tone rubber band, starting with the side peg though, towards the right. Either choose towards the right or towards the left, but you have to pick one side. It can't be on the center. And you are going to go down 4 pegs. Remember, these are double rubber bands. Almost this whole doll is going to be using double rubber bands. So then, you have just done 4 in skin tone. And now you're going to use your pink, and you're going to take double again, and you're going to go a peg forward like this. Then you're going to put a cap band and wrap it around 3 or 4 times. I like it when you do 4 because it gives it a better point. But if you do 3, it should still give you a point. And then, before you start to hook, you are going to take a skin tone rubber band, and you're going to come up to the left or the right, whatever side you have. I'm starting on the right. And you're going to do a peg like this. You're going to go down again. And then you're going to go a peg over. And then you're going to take your pink for the shoe. And you're going to go a peg over. You can always make your leg longer for both sides, but make sure that you curve in at a certain point to form the doll's legs coming together. Because that's what I think dancers do when I picture one. So So now you're going to start to hook. So you're going to come where the arrows are pointing towards you, which is over here. And you're going to take, under the cap band, you're going to take the bottom 2 pink rubber bands, bring it a peg forward, and then you're going to take the orange a peg forward. And now you have double pinks and double oranges that you have to hook. So first do your pink and bring it over, and then bring this over. Don't forget to hook both, because if you don't hook both, the legs will fall apart. Now you can come over to here, take your bottom orange, bring it over the top, and bring it to the next peg. And then you're going to go up 1 peg for both of these. Then you're going to come back over to here, take 2, bring it over the top, take 2, bring it over the top. Now I'm going to keep my legs on my hook because they're supposed to be together and I don't want them to fall apart, because if one falls apart, both legs do. So I'm going to come over to my hook. I'm going to take the back of my hook and pull off this leg over here. There should be these rubber bands still on, and you can take that off so that you only have 3 loops, and then you're going to take the opposite leg and take it too. And now that it looks like this, and you could start tugging out in certain directions to make the legs look more pointed. So now you have made the leg. Now you're going to make your eyes for your dancer. So you're going to take your skin tone rubber band, and you're only going to take 1 rubber band, not 2. And you're going to bring it a peg forward, and you're going to repeat the same step for your other eye. And then you're going to take black, and you're going to flip your board over, and you're going to wrap it around 4 times. You can do 3, but I think 4 looks better for an eye. And you're going to repeat the same steps for your other eye. So you're going to wrap it around 4 times. Now you're going to hook. So what you're going to do is you're going to go under your black rubber band, and you're going to take your bottom orange, and bring it a peg forward. And now I'm just going to repeat it again real quick for the other eye. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take off the black cap band, but you're not going to take off the eye over here. Just like this. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take the top half of the orange and bring it over, so that now your black cap band is in the center. And then carefully take it off your board and rest it with your other extra materials for the body. Again, you're going to take off the black, take the top half, bring it over, and then carefully take it off the board. Now you are ready to start your dancer's body. Now you're going to start your dancer's body. So you're going to flip your board over to the side with the arrow, and the arrow should be pointing away from you. And you're going to take your hair color. Again, it's going to be 2 rubber bands now. And you're going to go from the center to the left and the center to the right. And then you're going to push your rubber bands down. And now you're going to take your skin tone color. You're going to take 2 rubber bands on the center and go down 3 pegs. Just like this. You are not going down 3 pegs straight down for the left and the right, so keep watching. You're going to go down. Remember, these are all double. And down again. But now you're going to go from the left to the center to form the chin of the face. You're going to do the same thing over here. Double rubber bands. Just like this. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take double skin tone rubber bands, which is orange for me, light orange. And you're going to go from the center to the right and the center to the left. Now you're going to take double pink rubber bands and you're going to go down 3 on all 3 pegs. So you're going to do it here, here, and here. Just like this, and then you're going to repeat it on the center. And then you're going to repeat it on the right. Just like this.
Do you have a hook?
I'm on video.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I can read this part. But, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
I just want... I thought you stopped it.
Oh no, because I forgot I had to make the extra thing. And then you're going to go a peg forward again. Now I purposely didn't do the extra part for the skirt until now because I wanted you to remember where it's supposed to go, which is these extra loops. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take pink rubber bands. You're going to take double. Now don't connect it to here. So I will go like a peg forward and then do it because it can't be connected right now. And you're going to go to a peg forward. Then you're going to go another peg forward. And you're going to be repeating this again. So I'm just going to show you real quick. And then you're going to go down a peg again. And you're going to go down 4 times. Just like this. Just like this. Now you're going to wrap it around 3 times. So you're going to flip your board over and wrap the pink around 3 times, just like this. And you're going to do the same thing over here. Just like this. Now you're going to hook it forward. So you're going to go under the cap band and take a pink and bring it forward. And you're going to do the same thing over here. And you're going to repeat this again for the opposite part of the skirt. Just like this. I know my hand is covering it because I don't want to accidentally hook in a different way. I'm sorry if you couldn't see on camera. But then you're going to pull it off the board with your fingers, unless you want to use your hook, and you're going to put it to the side. You're going to be needing it very soon. So now I'm going to show you the way to make your skirt. So what you're going to do for your skirt is you're going to take double pink rubber bands and you're going to go down 3 pegs. But before you go any further, I just wanted you to know that you do go down 3 pegs for your skirt, but now you're going to do extra add-ons. So what you're going to do is you're going to take double pink rubber bands, go a peg forward, and you're going to go down 4 pegs. And you're going to do this twice. Make sure that this is not connected to your ballerina or dancer, because then the hooking process will not end up working. So now you're going to go double bands and double bands, and then you're going to cap it only 3 times, not 4. Because when you do it 3, it'll be easier to place, which will make more sense when it comes time. So you're going to wrap it around 3 times. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Wrap it around 3 times. Now you're going to hook. So you're going to go under your cap band, and you're going to take the bottom rubber bands, bring them over the top, and you're just going to keep taking the bottom rubber bands and bringing them over the top, just like this. And you're going to repeat this same process for the opposite pink part that you made. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take it off with your hand, just like this, but carefully because the cap band may be hard to take off, and then you're just going to place it on the side for now. You're going to do the same thing with the other one. And so now that you know that you do go down 3 for the skirt, you're going to do the same thing for the center and the left. Just like this, and then you're going to do it the same over here. One more, and don't forget these are double rubber bands. Now you're going to place extra cap bands and the add-ons. So now you're going to place your add-ons. So first we're going to start with the bun. We're going to start up here, and we're going to take the cap band part right over here, and we're going to place it on top here, right at the top point where the arrow is. Hopefully you can see that through the rubber bands. And now you're going to place your eyes. You're going to count 1, 2, and you're going to stretch out your eye rubber band to the center peg. And then you're going to do the same thing on the right, so it looks like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to place your arms. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the loose part, not where the cap band is, and you're going to place it at the shoulder area, right at this tip. And you're going to do it the same for the other arm, just like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your rubber bands over here. You're going to take the loose part for the skirt, and you're going to put it down. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, and you're going to place it down, and then you're going to take your cap band and you're going to bring it over to the end, just like this. And you're going to repeat it again for the next side, just like this, and then take your cap band and bring it over. Now this is coming out. Make sure that it is not on the peg. Make sure it's hanging off the side, just like mine. Finally, I'm going to show you the way that you place your legs. But before you place your legs, I would like you to take a pink rubber band and stretch it across all 3 pegs like this, and then bring the center peg over the top, over the center pin like this. So it should look like that. Now you're going to place your legs. So you're going to take the loose part on your hook. I'm going to stick my finger in and do it. There's many other ways you can do it. And you're going to place it on your left peg. And you're going to do the same thing over here. You're going to take it out with your finger and place it on the right peg. And make sure you push down, and then you can just put it back like this. Now you're going to do your cap bands. You're going to do a single rubber band stretching across all 3 pins. Then you're going to do it again, like this. Now you're going to do double capped rubber bands. You're going to wrap it around 2 fingers, make an 8, and stretch it across all 3 pins. This can get hard since it is tighter rubber bands. And you're just going to keep doing this. Finally, you're going to take a light orange rubber band and stretch it across all 3 pins over here. And you're also going to stretch it over the eyes. But then try to get it under the rubber band eyes like this. So now you're ready to start your hooking. Now what you're going to do is you're going to start on the side without the red arrow, or I colored mine in black so it's more noticeable. And the arrow should be pointing towards you. And what you're going to do is you're going to start on the center and bring everything a peg forward. So just like this. You're just going to keep going a peg forward until you reach where you're done with the pink rubber bands. Then you're going to come over to the left peg, go under the cap band, the yellow band, the orange bands, and the pink bands. so that you can reach the very bottom rubber band. I'm going to pull this over so it's easier for me to find the bottom rubber bands, and then I'm going to bring it over the top just like this, and I'm just going to keep going forward just like this, and completely ignore this part right here that's coming down. Just go under it. Don't do anything with it, and just take the bottom rubber bands and bring it over the top. Just like this. Then what you're going to do, again, you're going to completely ignore the arm right here, and you're just going to go under it and take your bottom orange rubber bands or whatever skin color you have and bring it to the center peg. Then push it down. And now you're going to do the same exact thing to the right. So you're just going to go under all of these rubber bands. Take the bottom two. Whoops. If this happens, you could just slide it back on because it's only a cap band. Again, like if any of these cap bands fall off, it's not going to hurt your bracelet. It just won't give you such a tight form like as some of these have. They might be a little bit more spread out, but it won't ruin your figure. So you're just going to go under all of these and take your bottom two pink rubber bands and bring them over the top. And you're going to do the same thing up until you get to the arm, and then you're going to bring it over to the left. Just like this. One more. Bring it over the top. Then you're going to, once again, ignore the arms and just take the bottom two oranges and bring it over the top into the center. Now you're going to work on the head, and it might get a little hard because there's a lot of rubber bands on this peg, but after you go under these rubber bands, under all these rubber bands should be on top, and I want you to grab them and bring them to the left like this, and then you're going to take them over here. After you go under all of them, take the top two and bring them to the top. Actually, you bring it to the right. How I know this is because I don't see a teardrop. Sorry. Then you're going to bring it a peg forward. Then you're going to go under to the left and bring it over like this. You're going to do the same thing over here. Bring it up. And now, before you go to the left, I want you to work on the center and just go a peg forward. And you're taking the bottom rubber bands for these, and then you're going to take the brown, bring it to the center. Same thing over here. You'll take your orange, bring it a peg forward, and again, take your orange and bring it a peg forward. Then you're going to take your brown and bring it to the center. Now, you're going to finish off your ballerina with a slip knot. I'm going to use pink so that you can see this bun here, like where it's secure, which looks like a ponytail in my doll I made. So you're going to put your hook in, bring it out through all the rubber bands, take a pink or whatever color you would like your ponytail rubber band to be. And you could also do a brown if you don't even want to see a ponytail. And you're going to put both on the hook, take the back rubber band, and take it off the hook just like this. Now don't pull it too tight because it might snap the rubber band. So now you're going to hold onto your slip knot. I'm going to take the opposite side of my hook and take it off the board. Carefully, and in some parts that you think are too tight for you to do with your hands and you don't want to snap it, you are welcome to use your hook as long as you don't unhook anything. Just like this. What I just did there, because I felt as though it was too many rubber bands and it would have been too tight. Now you are done your ballerina, and if this happens, just push your eyes through because some may go into the back for the way that you place them. Just stick them out, just like that. Now you're going to take your pink, wrap it around the bun just as many times as you would like. I'm just going to do it as many as I can. So just like this. And then I'm going to take this. If you're not using it as a charm, then you're going to do what I'm doing right now. If you're using it as a charm, then don't do this. Just wrap it around right here only once so that you don't cover up the pink. And now you can just do some small little helpers to make it get its form. Just pull in certain spots to make it longer and start to get its shape of a dancer. And these are popped out a lot, and you're welcome to push them in a little bit more, just like this. And now you are done your ballerina. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Bye. You are done your ballerina. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Bye.